In this video we're going to use our Dockerized Ansible to install Docker on a remote server. We've learned that we could either create our own role, or in this case we're going to leverage a third-party role, one of Jeff Geerling's roles. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his surname correctly. If you're around Ansible for any length of time, you're more than likely going to come across one or more of his roles. Now we could create our own role to install and manage Docker, but the whole point of a tool like Ansible, for me at least, is to leverage the power of the community and the expertise within. Now because we're using Docker, the command that we need to run, much like when we created our run playbook command and our create role command, is going to be quite long-winded. With this in mind, I'm going to create a new entry in my make file, which I'm going to call install_role, and make sure to add this as a phony target, as covered in the previous video. In much the same way that the create role command used Ansible Galaxy init to create new files on our machine, the install role command is going to use Ansible Galaxy to download third-party code from the internet onto our machine. This has some caveats because we're using Docker, and it also introduces a little gotcha around Git, which we'll cover as we go through. I'm going to set the working directory inside the running container to be crv-ansible. As a completely arbitrary name for the directory, you can of course call it anything you want. I've made a mistake here. The thing that I wanted to do was map my current working directory into crv-ansible. I'll correct this shortly. The only thing left to do is tidy up the command to be Ansible Galaxy install rather than Ansible Galaxy init, and we're still going to use our role variable, which will give us a nicer command line experience. So if we run a tree at this stage on our directory, we can see nothing's changed, and we shouldn't expect anything to have changed at the moment, but we should expect to see a new directory created under our roles directory after we've installed a role. So let's do that now with the command of make install_role with the role variable, which I'm going to use as geerlingguy.docker. And if everything goes to plan, this should download our role, and we would expect, if we run the tree command, to see our new role inside our roles directory, but we don't, and that's because I made that mistake with my Docker volume mapping. So I'm going to go ahead and correct that now to be crv-ansible. Now remapping Ansible in this way requires a config change, so inside the ansible.cfg or Ansible config file, I'm going to set the roles path to be explicitly crv-ansible/roles. And with that change in place, if I rerun the command make install role with the role of geerlingguy.docker, then this time on my local I should see these newly downloaded files. Whilst the config change fixes the problem of downloading files and them not ending up on our local machine, we still have another problem once they are on our local machine, and that's that we most likely don't want these new files in our Git repository. Now Ansible offers a solution to this which we will make use of, but for the moment I'm just going to start by creating a git ignore file. And I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I've used the dotted namespace approach when naming my roles. So in my case, any internal role is going to start with code review videos dot, and any external role or third-party role will start with anything else. Now this admittedly looks a little bit funky, so the first line tells Git to ignore everything in the roles directory, and then the second line negates this rule for anything beginning with code review videos, but we also need a third rule, which is anything inside any of the directories starting with code review videos. Now in truth, this isn't something I just know off the top of my head. This was pretty much the answer given from following Stack Overflow. So if you're at all unsure, then just pause the video here and have a read of the comments, and also take a look at the show notes where this is replicated. After completing this process, we've now downloaded the third-party role created by Jeff Geerling, which will allow us to easily install Docker. Now I need a very specific version of Docker, which is specified by the requirements from Rancher 2, and as I'm going to have more than one server, what I don't want to have to do is to specify the exact Docker version on a host-by-host basis. Instead, I want to specify that if any host is in my Rancher 2 Kubernetes nodes group, then it should get this specific version of Docker. It's really nice to be able to use these third-party roles, and all we need to do is specify the exact bits of config that we want to override. And most roles have some really nice readmes which tell you exactly which variables and stuff that you can set. But if not, then diving through the source with an Ansible role is not that difficult, honestly. For example, here we can see that by doing a very quick find on this variable name, we'll get taken to a directory inside the role called defaults/main.yaml. And for the vast majority of use cases, these are probably the only variables that you'll need to change if you do need to change them. Now if you're like me and a little bit nerdy, then looking at some of the ways in which these variables are used is quite interesting. There's a really good way to learn Ansible, which is outside the scope of this tutorial, so let's move on. So what I need to do next is go back into my Rancher 2 Kubernetes nodes playbook and add this new role to the list of roles that's going to get run when this playbook is run. And so the expectation at this point is that the next time we run this playbook, Docker should be installed on our remote. A quick check of our remote tells us that Docker's not installed, so let's run the make run playbook command. And after that's complete, assuming that it completes successfully, Docker CE 1703.2 should be installed on our remote. I've compressed the video down like by 600%. This took about a minute to a minute and a half to run in real life. The important thing is that at the end of this playbook run, the playbook finished successfully. We had 16 tasks and 7 changed bits of configuration on our remote server. And one of these is hopefully the installation of Docker at a very specific version. Unfortunately, the wrong version of Docker has been installed. Now, this isn't so bad in that we got Docker on that server, but it's still not exactly what we wanted. Now, whilst recording the video, this was confusing to me. It turned out to be a typo. I'd used singular instead of plural when naming my group bars file. I love stuff like this really when recording tutorials because it shows me two things. Firstly, that I'm in no way infallible, and even though I've been doing this for years, I still make mistakes like this all the time. One of the things I always do with people who are new to coding is reassure them that no matter how long you do this, it never really gets any easier. And secondly, often problems with coding and config and stuff like that just come down to one tiny little thing. And it's really easy to give up, even though you could be really close. So with our group vars file properly named, if we rerun make run playbook, then I'm fairly confident this time it's going to work. And of course it doesn't. The error here is kind of cryptic, but if you squint, the information is there. It's telling us that the version of Docker that we're trying to install was not found. And of course, it's another typo. Now, normally I'd just copy and paste this from the appropriate docs, but in this case, for the purposes of the video, I was typing it out manually. With the typos out of the way, surely this time if we rerun the make run playbook command, then we're going to get a successful output. The circumstances that we find ourselves in now are a complete side effect of my inability to type. We've got a newer version of Docker on our remote than the version that we're trying to install. I believe downgrading Docker involves uninstalling it and then restarting the server, none of which I really want to get into. This is a more fundamental mistake, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Terraform to destroy our infrastructure and then immediately use Terraform to rebuild our infrastructure. It's like the ultimate get out of jail free card. Now I'm assuming that if you're following this tutorial, then you've already sat through your own fair share of these make Terraform commands already, so I'm going to skip through this as quickly as possible. Because I've made a change to the infrastructure, I need to go back into my production inventory file and update the IP address of the etcd0 node. There's a pretty subtle change to see, but that doesn't really matter because it's really specific to my setup anyway. Use whatever values you've got. And with that out of the way, with a bit of luck now, if we run the make run playbook command, I'm not foreseeing any further problems. All I want at this stage is to be able to SSH onto my new server and check that I've got the right version of Docker installed and also htop.